talking about our visual expression with graphs and burners and stuff like that, and you're talking about DJing, the way to take technology and create technology due to the incapabilities of economics, of what you didn't have access to. It's just creativity at its best, and and basically I think the desire of the culture, meaning the determination, no matter what type of opposition that was sparked against it at a certain point. There was just determination to make it live and to make it thrive and to make it, I think, and prosper. I think that's just kind of what appealed to a lot of people, I should say, holistically, meaning that some people, got into it for different reasons. The suburban kids, they got into it just because it was rebellious. I mean, but I think as a whole, it just became so popular as a culture because it kind of, it kind of has this, even though it's it's kind of treated as not as American because it came from us, but it really is American in the sense of the, I guess the stated goal of America or beliefs of America, as far as you come in here and you working hard and you just kind of going against all odds to kind of to make something happen for yourselves despite the opposition. And there's an underlying kind of, oh, we don't like this, but you got to kind of give it respect. And of course, as it started to become popular, then it became a business commodity. And then once it's a business commodity, then it goes to a whole nother level in this country as far as capitalism is concerned. And I think that's just where it is right now. It's just such a business commodity that to promote it negatively, to expose it negatively as a business commodity. That's what a lot of corporations are. They at the same time can use the music and rob the culture, and use the music and exploit things, and still benefit off of it, and still promote it as negative if they still want to see it that way. I mean, so there's a lot of different reasons and contributions, but I think it's kind of like that whole spirit of it, as the initial spirit of it and just the defiance of it got it to where it is now.
And same vein and same question, really, Jared. If you say what makes hip hop culture such an important medium for communication in today's society?
First of all, good morning, everybody. And thanks to Will and everybody for putting this conference together, and for all of you coming out this morning. I'm gonna try to. It's so hard to be brief.
Say what you got to say, bro.
I mean, the issue. Hip hop was important to those who created it, because those who created it were among the most oppressed in the society, and who have always been looking for different avenues and ways to communicate with one another. Real quick, also, forgive me if I can't make eye contact with anybody. I can't see anybody beyond like a silhouette, so please forgive that. But so hip hop was, when that quote that Chuck D said that hip hop was Black America's CNN, initially was meant, I think, in the best that hip hop could be, in the sense that hip hop could be something that Black people could use to communicate with one another when denied every other outlet through mainstream press or mainstream education, etc. Today, unfortunately, hip-hop has become Black America's CNN, in the sense that it has become what does not inform people, which inaccurately limits ranges of thought, which is used to deny people accurate representation on a global scale. It has, in fact, become what CNN is. And CNN is just that. And I think, by the way, it's important to note that CNN's #1 source of revenue is not even advertising or anything else. It's the resale of their video packages to news agencies and outlets around the world. So whatever CNN decides is worthy of their cameras, so too does most of the rest of the world. So when they narrowly frame issues, and you can simply do that by just, without even commentary, just by what you put in front of the camera, much of the rest of the world follows suit. And as hip hop, as Priest was talking about, got sucked into the corporate machine, it has been put to that same use. And that is misrepresentation on a global scale, in this case of primarily black images and thoughts and concepts and real material existence, and has made it part of a really a global imperial mission of setting the agenda for how people will view one another, and in this case, again, Black America. So to intentionally reshape our communities from being seen as world leaders in political revolution to being one of the main blockages to it. Now, of course, that is not to say that that is what hip hop is, but it's important to note that there is, what are we talking about when we say hip hop? There's, of course, the corporate, popular, commercial, intentionally selected, narrowly chosen range that they call hip hop, that gets blamed from everything from IMIS to so-called black-on-black crime, which is itself a ridiculous phrase, since the average person killed in this country is a white male in his mid-30s, killed by somebody he knows, very rarely a black person. So why don't we ever hear things about white-on-white crime or anything like that as being an epidemic? But anyway, so I think that, as Harold Cruz asked a long time ago, what happens when your cultural expression becomes part of the national cultural store, as he called it? In other words, once the nation grabs and gobbles it up, it gets put to a use decidedly against that which it was originally intended to be. So we have to be, constantly vigilant and aware of that, and it is being used to re-educate black people out of their radical political consciousness, which was an expressed, openly, explicitly stated mission, not only from everybody from the FBI and the counterintelligence program to Rockefeller and the founders of the communications school at Chicago University and the originators of black education or industrial education in this country. They explicitly said it in their own documents. We need to make people what we need them to be. And in the case of black people, we need them to continue to be the undergirding labor force of this country. As they said, when the plantations got rearranged instead of shut down, we still need cotton and tobacco to be picked, and we can't let black people really be free. So there's been a long process of setting up a situation where black people could be seen to be free, and when, in fact, we are devolving from where we were in the late 60s, which was only seen as an improvement because the standard for black America has always been and will always be slavery. So as long as the standard for our condition in this country is plantation enslavement, everything can be seen as a positive or a step towards progress or freedom, even as we in reality are going backwards. And as Claude Anderson said, we still today have the same 0.1% of the nation's wealth that we had in 1860. So, so hip hop has to be re-imaged to keep us away from hearing the people on a regular basis who would encourage us into new ways of thinking and new ways of organizing and new things and new ways of movement, and encouraging us to do not that, and then encouraging the rest of the world to see us as only what those in power in this country have themselves seen us to be, which is ignorant laborers, hypersexual, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll stop there for that.